This presentation deals with firearms and teachers, and specifically the rights of teachers to carry firearms on school grounds. It is presented by Morgan Briner, Christina Batchelor, Sierra Landreth, and Hannah Bianchi.
Firearms are defined by the United States Legislature as any weapon which will or is designed to or may be readily converted to expel a projectile by the action of an explosive. While firearms and citizens' rights to bear arms have been debated since the signing of the U.S. Constitution, the issue of firearms in the classroom is relatively a new phenomenon. This debate has become increasingly heated in recent years, and more specifically so since the tragic shootings in recent years. Among these shootings, the most famous are the 1966 Texas Tower sniper, who killed 14 from the observatory of the University of Texas Clock Tower. 2 years later, in 1998, 15-year-old Kip Kinkle shot and killed his parents before heading to Thurston High School and killing 2 students and injuring 25 others. The following year brought the infamous Columbine high school massacre, leaving 13 dead in Littleton, Colorado, and the incidents only grew from there. Virginia Tech suffered a shooter attack in 2007 that took the lives of 32 people. 2012 was a year of great sorrow when 27 individuals were shot and killed at Sandy Hook Elementary, most of them first-grade children. This debate has been a focus of the government, media, and the public at large. Due to its widespread popularity, many arguments for and against arming teachers have come to forefront. Those who argue that teachers should be allowed firearms at school argue that in rural schools such as Harrold, Texas, firearms were necessary due to the distance from the police and other first responders. By allowing faculty to carry firearms if an intruder or an active intruder were to enter school grounds, having armed faculty members would help the students' safety if an event like this were to occur. Some argue that teacher-student dynamic would be valuable in emergency situations. Teachers have better understanding of each of their students than what a police officer would have, therefore could help talk the active shooter out of taking their peers' lives, and if needed, they could be armed to jump in as a last resort. Many state that allowing faculty to carry firearms would give them comfort and peace of mind, that simply knowing that some faculty members are armed would help ease the mind of the entire school with the knowledge that there are people who would intervene if the need arises. Armed faculty would also serve as a deterrent. Knowing that teachers are armed could serve as a deterrent to students who are thinking about bringing guns to school. Oftentimes, individuals refer to the effectiveness of a proper firearm safety training. With proper training, teachers could serve as an asset in a hostile situation. With quick action, teachers could protect their students effectively. The most obvious argument that most employ is the right to bear arms is a constitutional one as seen in the Second Amendment. Many individuals believe that it is their given right to own a firearm based on the Second Amendment.
As many arguments as have been proposed in favor of allowing teachers to carry guns on campus, there are an equal amount, if not more, arguments against this outcome. Police officers, administrators, teachers, and the public all have their own concerns about arming faculty members. Several groups express concerns that teachers lack the life safety mindset that the police and first responders employ in crisis situations. The life safety mindset is what allows police to make split-second decisions when lives are on the line. If teachers lack the conviction to make the difficult decisions, more lives could be taken. Many who are against arming teachers say that, statistically, school shootings are still rare. Several sources say that only 2% of adolescent deaths occur at school, and those that do are not always related to school shootings. If this is the case and school shootings are not on the rise, what is the point of arming teachers? Some parents have issued concerns about teachers bullying of students. There have been documented cases of teachers' threats against their students. Some have even gone so far as to threaten to shoot them. Parents are concerned that by giving a teacher a firearm, they would be allowing for an easy outlet for any rage or hate teachers possess against their students. Accidental discharge has also been a main concern of many individuals. By arming teachers, we increase the number of firearms on campus, which could lead to an increase in firearm-related accidents. Firearms are, after all, deadly weapons, and even professionals have been injured or killed in gun-related accidents. Teachers themselves expressed concerns that they might not be able to maintain control of a firearm in an emergency. There has been an increase in the percentage of female teachers over the course of the last several years. Many female instructors could be overpowered by a student and lose control of the firearm and the situation. Cost of trainings and training effectiveness have also been a cause for concern. Concealed carry and firearm safety training costs over $1,000 per person and rarely go over the specifics of firearms in the classroom. Administrators and politicians express concern that the cost is too high and the lack of specific curriculum for teachers with firearms makes arming teachers unfeasible. Teachers have also stated that it is not their job to be armed. They are not police, they are instructors. Their sole purpose is to educate young minds. Why should they have to be responsible for firearms as well? Another major concern is the weapon's effect. Studies have shown that when in the presence of a weapon, individuals show heightened aggression and anger. Therefore, having firearms present in the classroom could increase the violent outbreaks in schools. Current gun laws that deal specifically with firearms in schools include the 2001 No Child Left Behind Act and California Senate Bill 707. The No Child Left Behind Act created major changes in education, but one of the lesser-known areas of this legislation was its revision of the Gun-Free Schools Act of 1994. The Gun-Free Schools Act imposed a federal requirement that school districts adopt gun-free school positions that require zero-tolerance policies. Although the Gun-Free Schools Act was enacted originally in 1994, it was later repealed, and it wasn't until 2001 that the NCLBA enacted a zero-tolerance policy in schools, meaning that by bringing a firearm, threatening to bring a firearm, or being accused of having a firearm could make a student eligible for expulsion. In some schools, this policy has been taken to extremes. One student was even expelled after turning in a poem in which he described a school shooting. In 2015, California Senate Bill 707 revised the Gun-Free School Zone Act of 1990 and adjusted the concealed carry permissions in California. Originally, the Gun-Free School Zones Act, or GFSZA, prohibits a person from knowingly possessing a firearm on or around a school zone. Although the GFSZA was enacted in 1990 as part of the Crime Control Act, it was later challenged in the Supreme Court case United States v. Lopez as an unconstitutional exercise of congressional authority. In 1996, the GFSZA was revised and reenacted, and it wasn't until California Senate Bill 707 that the GFSZA was again revised. This new revision included an exemption for those who hold a valid license to carry a concealed firearm to carry a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school zone, but not on school grounds. Out of our 50 states, only 9 states allow concealed carry. Of those 9, only Utah, Idaho, and Colorado have little restrictions. Texas, Kansas, Arkansas, Wisconsin, Mississippi, and Oregon all allow concealed carry, but the school limits the locations and who is allowed to carry. Other states, like California, leave it up to the schools to decide. As you can see on this map, the red states allow full concealed carry. The gray states like Texas and Wisconsin allow it, but they decide who and where. Orange states like Florida allow concealed guns only in locked cars in parking lots. Yellow states like California leave it up to the schools to decide. And in green states like New Mexico, concealed carry on campus is prohibited.
Currently, there are 2 new bills being introduced to Congress that deal with firearms. The first, H.R. 34, has already been presented before Congress and is known as the Safe Students Act. If passed, this bill calls for the striking of the Gun-Free School Zones Act of 1990. By removing the GFSZA, the Safe Students Act would allow for new legislation to be put in place to help protect students, including that would allow teachers to carry firearms on school grounds. The second is H.R. 1079 and is currently in the committee stages of Congress, but is known as the Campus Gun Policy Transparency Act. If passed, this act will set specific requirements for institutions of higher education. These requirements would force campuses to disclose their firearm policies clearly and accurately so that students, faculty, and the public are aware of the policies and the safety measures taken by teachers and students to ensure the safety of all on grounds.
California, the choice of whether to allow teachers to carry firearms is up to each school district. Currently in California, 4 school districts have made the choice to allow firearms to faculty. Kern County School District is currently creating a plan for their faculty, whereas Folsom Cordova Unified School District has an undisclosed policy, meaning that they do not explicitly inform students of which faculty members are armed. Kingsburg High School allows up to 5 faculty members to carry, and in Anderson Unified High School District, some staff can carry. Fresno Unified School District does not currently allow faculty to carry firearms. Instead, they believe in alternative solutions, such as use of school resource officers, campus safety assistants, and a close partnership with the Fresno Police Department.
Although we have outlined the basics of this argument from both sides, there are some key reminders that must be stated regarding this debate. Firearms in schools is a highly emotional topic for many, as it is linked to school shootings and adolescent death. Much of media reports on this topic are one-sided due to the high emotions invoked by this debate. And despite our best efforts, there is little, if any, true empirical evidence dealing with this issue, and those that you can't find don't deal directly with the issue we discuss in this PowerPoint. Finally, it is important to note that much of the legislation and policy surrounding firearms in schools was created immediately following a tragic school shooting. Fear plays a large role in this debate and its growing popularity, but it's important to remember when analyzing the information that we have presented that fear can't be the driving force.